Times Change. What's up, everybody? Coming in. Look, How Times Change every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We go over history and social norms. So, you guys, historians, you guys know a little bit about history?
A little something, son.
A
A little
little
something.
bit.
So, okay. What about social norms? Y'all up to date on social norms?
For sure.
Most people do? Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
So we like to blend that together. So you know. We not having history class yet. Our teacher isn't here right now, but Coco Melon, if you could tell everybody who you are, what you got going on the platform.
Yes, I am top batch Coco Melon. I have recently got a new show. The creator was Brooklyn's own DJ. I will be doing Slang with Me every Sunday at 11 a.m. My pilot will be this Sunday, so everybody come slide through at 11 a.m. Also, I'm having my Fave party tomorrow. I have it once a month. It's for everybody to network and get their faves up. So if you want to come through, it'd be tomorrow from 8 to 10. And I'm having my BBW showcase from 8 to 10, July the 20th. There's still slots available for the ladies. So if you would like to come through, come see me.
Slang with me with Brooklyn's own DJ. He transferring it over.
Yes.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I asked him. I asked
Fun
him that
show.
too. I asked him that too. I was like, it's a real dope show, So I would like to see it continue on. And you should pass it on to somebody if it's possible. So I guess a couple of us got in his ear, and that's what happened. All right, Joe. I
Good
know
morning,
what's going
everybody, or
on.
good afternoon, whatever time it is for you. I am Big MF Joe, Commander in Chief of the Love Army, Big POE, a big MF energy everywhere you see me. I co-host a show every single Tuesday called Sample Showdown. It's one of the fastest growing music shows that there is on the app. If you're a lover of music, if you love samples, if you like a classic hip hop head and you love the feeling of digging in the crates and nostalgia, then this is the show for you. Outside of that, I am a music guy. So every single Tuesday in the morning, I have a show called Todd Tuesday, where we play some of your favorite white boy classics. So if you ain't thrash out, come have a good time.
Where are you from, Joe?
I'm originally from Boston,
Okay, that's the two and do in there. Okay.
but I live in Baltimore, so it's a lot of influences going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard that recently. I follow a guy who he was from Texas and he was in Baltimore for like a year. And now he sounds like he's been in Baltimore his whole life.
Yeah, stick on you. It stays
Yeah,
your brain
stick
real quick.
real quick, real quick. All right, you guys. So look, we're gonna do social expectations. You guys ready?
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, Coco Melon, don't start sweating now.
Nah, not gonna sweat.
All right. First question for you. So, social expectation. A social expectation is that you have to have loads of friends to be popular. What are you thinking about that, Miss Coco Miller?
Well, I've never been that type of person anyway. That expectation went out the door when I was little because I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised to have that understanding. My thing is my friends should be my friends and they should be relatable to me. So I've learned that at an early age. So I've never had I never had to think I need to be popular. I felt like I needed to be unique and be me for people to be able to be relatable to me.
Okay. What you thinking, Joe? A lot of friends to be popular.
Nah, you just gotta have a lot of people around you. People around you don't equal friends. So people have a lot of people around them, and that'll equate to popularity. People want to associate with you. People want to rub shoulders with you. I mean, if you're a socialite, then it's gonna look like popularity. But when it's all said and done, anybody knows that you want to keep your circle small. People that you truly trust, people that you're gonna call your friends, you want to keep that small, and that's never usually a lot of people.
Okay. So you guys have groups when you guys were in school? Like it was like you and your two friends, or you and a group of people? Did you guys hang out in groups?
Not me. I was sort of a nerd in school, so I never really had a bunch of people around me. I may have had like one or two people or whatever, but we just never thought of things. We never thought of anything like that. If anything, if you want to say a group, it was a bunch of the group of people that wanted to learn and educate ourselves when we was in school. I was really unique. I wasn't one of those kids that didn't want to go to school. I was the one that wanted to go to school. I didn't want to stay at home all the time because I stayed in the country and I didn't really have nobody out there. It was just, we were out in the country. There's no other kids. So the only time I was going to be able to be social was in school.
Okay, okay. What you thinking, Joe? You was in a group or no?
Nah, man, I was everywhere. I was everywhere. I was never really a part of any group. I'm the type of person that, was a chameleon. So I could get around and hang out in every group. So I hung out with the ROTC kids, out there hanging out with the kids, watching Naruto and playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But I'm also in the bathroom rolling dice. Like I was everywhere.
Right, right. That kind of sound like me. I was in ROTC when I was in high school, so I was with the ROTC kids and the nerds because I was smart, the gangsters,
Athletes,
the shop
the
club.
hipsters.
I played basketball and football, so I was with the basketball player. I was all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, chameleon is definitely that's definitely one of them for sure. All right, Miss Coco Melon, how do you encourage accountability amongst your friends?
That's a good question. We talking about then or now? Because
You
then,
could pick one.
now, basically, we do kind of check-ins with ourselves, to see where we're at now. Because our lives are get real busy. We have kids, we have all of these other things that's happening. And sometimes just like checking in with somebody kind of lets you know where they're at in their life, like where maybe a conversation need to be had. Like it may be a marriage in trouble, or it may be something as simple as they can't decide what vacation they want to go to. It could be just that simple, but just kind of checking in. I think accountability requires communication. You have to be able to talk to each other and be honest, because you can't do no accountability, lying to, with each other, trying to make somebody look like you do, you okay, or everything's good, or you doing great when you're sitting around there being miserable, or you know that type of situation. So yeah, that's how I will see it.
Big Joe, what you thinking, man? Accountability. What we doing with it?
I don't force accountability on my friends. I just continue to push the table. Like instead of waiting for them to come to the table, I just bring the table to them. So like if you tell me you got something going on, the expectation is for it to be done. So I'm not gonna wait for you to do it. I'm waking up before you to call your phone and be like, hey, look, remember we got that thing we got going on. You know, I take it on too. So it's not even your thing anymore. It's our thing. Like this thing that you got going on, it's our thing, and it's important to me just as much as it's important to you. And you're not about to waste my time. And if you're my friend, you're not about to waste my time.
Okay, I feel that. I feel that. I'm kind of like the friend where everybody calls me for stuff, and then I have like a couple close friends from high school that still keep up with me and stuff. So I definitely understand that. It could be like one thing I learned recently was like it doesn't matter how long you guys been friends or how long you haven't talked to each other. If you could pick up the phone and act like you guys were just hanging out yesterday, that's like a real
That's a
friendship.
real one. That's
You
one of them
know,
ones.
I've known people for 10, 11 years and haven't talked to them in super long, and then just get on the phone and reminisce a little bit about high school or after high school or college or anything like that. And then we back locked in, and then we don't talk to each other for another year or two. But it's all good though. So
It's always love.
yeah, for sure. What's up, everybody? If you sliding in right now, man, this is How Times Change every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Right now, we doing social expectations. So if you guys feeling the topic and you feel that it's hitting right there, put your comment in the thing. We'll read it. If I catch it, we'll read it. Sometimes I don't catch comments, but we'll read it for sure. All right, Joe, we're gonna go with you. Social expectation is being responsible for your family and extended family. What you thinking about that? Being responsible for your family and extended family.
Dang, I hate to throw a caveat on this, but what you mean by like responsible? What you mean by responsible?
So basically, I'm gonna say responsible only being whatever you feel is responsible, because everybody thinks of the word responsible and they look at it a different way. So I can sit down a list and be like this and that, but then that would be me saying what I'm responsible for.
Okay.
So what do you feel like you're responsible for?
Nah, responsible for protecting my family, responsible for guiding anybody who's attached to me is always a must. There's certain things that I'm not gonna take responsibility for though. I'm not gonna take responsibility for things that you should just be doing for yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's certain times when it comes to family, sometimes we don't draw certain boundaries because we're like, oh, this is family. So we gotta allow certain things to happen. And yeah, we ain't going for that. But responsible for protecting my family, for leading them the right way, responsible in to protect myself and take care of myself so that I'm here to do what I need to do for them. But outside of that, they got to do what they need to do so that they can, you know what I mean? Pour into my cup too.
Right. What you thinking, Coco Melon, about that responsibility for your family and extended family?
You know, I feel like the responsibility of that is making sure I'm good, because I can't do for anybody if I'm sitting around here messed up. So the responsibility is on me to take care of me, thus able to be a guide or a role model towards others. Because a lot of times people in your family don't want any of that. You know, they're already in their own situations and they want to stay in them. And if that's what they want to do, that's on them. I'm here to provide a different perspective that, you know, if you don't want to go down that same road as Uncle Joe, and I do have Uncle Joe, by the way. Or you know, or your aunt or whatever, that, you know, there is a different route, because we have these generational cycles, curses, they say, that people go through, like if they have, you know, babies out of wedlock and stuff. I feel like, as a person that don't want to keep seeing the same cycle over and over, I have to be the responsible person to not do it and to show them this is the path that you can take. You know, it's always different possibilities. So that's pretty much how I see it.
She ate that.
Yeah.
She ate that.
Right, for sure. I know, like, one thing that I deal with is like the extended family wanting too much. You know, it's like we don't really be around each other. We don't really have too much communication, but you want me to jump over fences and leaps and bounds, you know. And then I also deal with family being cut off from each other too, you know. So it's like, if I need something, I can't ask you, but you expect me to anchor down the whole family. So, and I know I'm not the only one to deal with stuff like that. So, you know,
once you get to a certain age, it starts to hit.
Right. And it's like,
Right.
Okay, what do they call it for you? Hello? Hey, unc. Hey, auntie. Hey, cousin. What you want, man? What you want now?
That's it right
Yeah,
there.
I can hear it in the tone of your voice. So what you want now? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
This question is for Joe, and then Coco Melon can give her 2 cents on it also. All right, Joe. A man is always expected to provide more than what his father provided him. And what that means is, pretty much, when you get your own family, you you take on everything your father did plus more to provide for your family. So it's like, if your dad provided a good life for you, you want to provide a good life for your kids plus more. Do you feel like that's correct, or that's like a true statement?
I feel like any man of virtue will take that on, honestly, right? Simply because once you become a father, that's your new expectation for your seeds. You want them to do better, and it's in every aspect. So like, to share personally, my father always told me, like, I know you're gonna be a better father than me, right? And he knew that because of the father he was for me, right? You know, because he was a better father than his father was for him, right? So all the things that I learned, all the things that my father was able to instill in me, I take that, and then where he fell short, I excel, right? I try to, you know what I'm saying, step over those things. All of those roadblocks he hit, I don't have to hit those same roadblocks anymore, because I saw the pitfalls that come with that, right? So
Right.
am I perfect? No. Do I make the same mistakes? Like, have I made the same mistakes? Yes, I have. But the fact of the matter is my father's there to guide me through those. So I'm still doing it better than he did.
Okay. So Coco Melon, what do you feel about that statement?
I was a daddy's girl. And I was also a tomboy. So I was spoiled rotten. I was completely spoiled rotten. There wasn't nothing I needed at all and everything I wanted. But he did instill hard work. That's what I seen. No matter how much I was getting or whatever, I did understand that had to come with some sacrifice and some work. So the legacy he left for me is, you do hard work, you can get what you want because I'm doing this for you. And so that's the type of legacy I leave my kids. Like, you do the work, you do your hard work, then you can have fun. You can go do this and that. You don't have to do what society think is trying to picture for you at this point, which is, go run around and do all this crazy stuff and stay on social media 24 hours a day. I unplug my kids. They don't even need to. Everything gets unplugged around here. They go outside and be kids. I want them to have their own imaginations. I want them to have their own creativity for the life that they want without social media just, you know, so saturated. It's already saturated in the schools. It's already saturated everywhere you go. At least at home, you can just be you and whatever you want that to look like. So that's how I see things that's how I see it. And I thank my dad for that. He passed when I was going into my senior year in school, but those things always had been instilled in me. So
Right, right. I know I've been finding myself saying stuff my dad would say to my son, and sometimes it makes me laugh. So I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
and then you'd be like, dang it, I was trying not to
When did
say
I get
that for
here?
real.
When
Right,
did I get here?
right,
This is this old saying, right? It's like I walked, I walked. So no, it's where my great grandfather walked. My grandfather rode a horse. Where he rode a horse, my father got a car, and where he got a car, I got a Benz, right? So like it's just a progression. Like we go up, but the downside to that is after I got the Benz, then my son started walking again, right? Because sometimes in the generation we go up and then it starts right over again. We start right back at the bottom, where the people who have the most, they give it all to their kids and they don't know what to do with it, so they end up squandering.
right, right. We see that a lot when parents that become wealthy. It's like we went our whole life. We second, third generation in the country. We got wealthy, and then our kids just come in after us, and they have all these millions, and then they mess it all up, and then our family has to start all over again for generations.
Generations to come, yeah.
Yeah, it's not too many families that hold on to wealth forever. There's been plenty of families that have been wealthy and lost it. Social expectation in our community, that's the melanated community, is that
All right.
men should play sports to get out of the neighborhood, and women should either go into the medical field or the law field. So whoever wants to attack it first.
I didn't do neither one of those things. I became an IT specialist and now I'm an IT manager. So I stayed very away from all of that. I think it's because when I was younger, they just unplugged me from even the TV. Like I was able to create whatever I wanted. So that gave me the right to not listen to whatever is society is trying to tell me what I should be or what anybody else should be. And I tell my kids all the time, despite what you seeing out there, you don't have to do that. There's so many other careers that has nothing to do with the basic 4 or 5 that everybody thinks everybody's supposed to have that you could be in. Like I said, like my child kept talking about, I want to be in the NBA. I said, what about the people that does sports medicine? What about them? You know what I mean? Somebody's got to take care of these athletes. You know, like I try to give them another perspective that if that doesn't work, that dream doesn't work, there are other things that you can still be within your dream. May not be the NBA, but you might be the best chiropractor in the NBA or the best whatever, you know, but you still will be there where your dream is. So, you know, I think for me, people think their dreams die when they don't get to do that specific thing. But they're not looking outside of the box of the other possibilities or other perspectives within your dream. So, you know, I'm always telling them to dream big, but, you know, have a plan B. Because I'm in reality. These things, they make it seem like that this is going to happen if you do A, B, and C, and D. But we all know once you grow up and the world comes at you, anything can happen where those things can be veered off. So, yeah.
All right, Joe. What you say, Joe?
All right, cool. So all right, so since it's for the culture, right? It's for the
Yes,
culture?
for the culture.
All right, so can we have a militant moment? Can I have a militant moment? Can I get in my bag real quick? All right, cool.
Go ahead.
I want all young black boys to be athletic and strong. You know what I mean? I want y'all to be runners. I want y'all to be, you know what I'm saying, ready for everything and anything. I want black women to be medically inclined, to know how to heal and repair us, right? Especially in times of need. You don't have to only do that, but just to know the knowledge, especially for other black women, right? Because if as black women, you do know, you know what I mean, it is disproportionate how you guys are treated in hospitals. We're not gonna say exactly what happens, but we know how it goes, right? So it's better for us to be able to take care of ourselves in that way. So yeah, I want a world where every 15, 16-year-old, 17-year-old has some type of athletic background. I want a world where every young black girl knows something about medicine and can heal herself and heal others. We want that.
So basically have versatility.
For sure. But be ready, because they getting ready.
One thing I deal with a lot with my job is versatility. I manage for I work at like different stadiums in the nation and stuff. So a lot of people that I work with, they can do security, they could cook, they could clean, you know, they could set up a stage, like they could do a lot of different things like that, you know, because we move around in different groups or whatever. So it's always good to be able to see versatility, and you'd be surprised, you know, you came from the aspect of like sports, but believe it or not, there's a lot of people. Think about your moms. How much stuff can your mom do? You know, how many different jobs does your dad have? You know what I'm saying? So it's really like people can do things, we just don't know they can do them. You know, that's what I've experienced a lot, where it's like, oh, I remember my dad telling me one time, he's like, oh, I used to do this, and that. And I'm like, what, really? You know, like, yeah, just because that wasn't my end career, don't mean I never did it before. So I know one thing, we're able to do a lot of stuff. And I don't know if you guys have seen like recent videos popping around about black folks or just, you know, the urban community. They're like, dang, they good at everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying that we just automatically good at everything, but a lot of things we pick up, we just excel at it naturally, you know? So, yeah, take that. Long as you apply yourself, I feel like mostly anybody could be good at something. But there's some people who are just natural. They're just natural at things, you know?
Funny you said that. As a kid growing up, my neighborhood was a rough neighborhood, but we was also known for being skateboarders. Everybody in the neighborhood had a skateboard. Tony Hawk Pro Skater was the thing at the time. Like, we was outside. Right,
for sure. And one thing, like I was gonna touch on it, Snooks, you being in the medical field, you chose that. But the thing about it is such when in our community, when they're like, oh, go be a nurse, just go do that. They make good money. We tend to look at the dollar amount in fields versus what they do, you know? And that's just like, hey, you want to make good money? Go and do this. Instead of looking at, am I going to be happy in that? Because then now you look up, you've been a nurse or a doctor, or you've been traveling all this time, trying to be a pro athlete, and then you twist your ankle one day, and then that's all you know for 20, 30 years. You just been chasing this athlete thing. Now you're working at a warehouse and you hate it, and you don't have any skills, you know. Or you have to leave the medical field one day and you don't have anything else in that. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't pick that. If you picked it, then you're going to excel in it. But if you just got with, oh, well, who makes the most money? Okay, I guess I'll go do that then, you know. So that's what we tend to do to our kids and just in our community. We go do jobs that pay the most instead of doing what we want. Yeah, I mean, that might be with everybody, but I know it happens with us a lot, you know. They look up jobs for you, truck drivers and stuff. Like I got family that's truck drivers. Every other week they're like, "Hey, you should be a truck driver." Why? Oh, because they make good money. What if I don't want to drive trucks? So I'm gonna just drive trucks and be mad, you know? So
but nepotism is a thing. Nepotism is a thing, though.
it is a
Sometimes
thing.
people
It
want
is a
that.
thing. Yeah, you know. But hey, you don't always. It's plenty of kids. It's like, oh, my dad owns this. Now I got to go into the family business because my dad. But you don't really want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, forensics psychology. That's a good career. Okay.
And when you grew up around the family business, it felt like you already been working it your whole life anyway. I don't want to keep working this job. I've been in the barbershop since I was 6 years old. I don't want to keep sitting in the barbershop, man.
Right. Right. Because the question I had was, in order to be good at something, you have to be great. You have to be great at it, or greater than others at it. You know what I'm saying? And I was going back and forth with this question because I was looking at it like, so just because I'm good at it don't mean I'm better than somebody else. You know, everybody got their own skill level. You would think so, Coco Melon? Everybody got their own skill level. Even though we got the same job, you in the tech, you know, so I don't know. Everybody can't type on a computer, you know.
Everybody ain't built the same.
Yeah.
Right.
I still one button it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with technology, the thing people have to realize, you have to keep yourself trained in it. So it's ever changing, and I'm on the customer service side. So it can get a little tricky on my side because everybody knows customer service when you go calling in for a problem or whatever, how aggravating it is when you get on the phone and you're on hold for like 30 minutes or whatever. Well, see, I'm on that side of it with the technology, and it's no different. It's always evolving. And yes, we have to be better than others because, to be honest with you, they feel like you're not able to do it. And I'm one of the few females in my field. So it makes it even worse. Not only that, I'm a female. So they feel like you're not capable. You can't pick up that server. You can't, you don't have the intelligence to be able to program this or run a script or all of this stuff. And then I'm having to sit here and continually to prove that. You know what I mean? So I'm having to I have to self-motivate. Well, you need training here, there. I have to understand that they're going to replace me with somebody else if I don't sit here and continue to, train myself, educate myself on the right now and the future of the technology. So that's pretty much where I'm at with mine.
Right. I've seen some interesting jobs. I've worked at a couple tech conferences recently, and I've seen some interesting stuff, like mind-blowing stuff, like for real, like things that you can't even like take pictures of, like you just gotta look at it and take it as a mental note and be like, all right, one day I'm gonna see this again. What's up, vibes? What's up, everybody? Welcome to How Times Change every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you in the comments and I missed your comment, what's up? Welcome. Man, technology is wild. Like, I like tech, I'm not, and it's just really interesting how they're trying to make everything progress, and it's going fast, Like,
and you got to be careful because right now they're doing all this AI stuff. These things are going to replace some of these very jobs. I mean, look at Walmart. Look, that's one of the greatest examples. Like, they're running around here, all these self-checkouts. They're replacing people. So, that's why you have to continually be sharpened, because the thing is, if they don't need you no more, Where you gonna go?
I worked at a warehouse for a clothing brand like 3 years ago, and we used to have like 600 workers, and then just last year they went to a 3PL system. So now all that is ran by computers. So, it's like
Why
you
instantly
replace
start
you.
thinking Star Wars?
Is that a child? Is that a childish mind, or is that just a child's imagination never leaving?
He said, they run by C-3PO? Like, what?
Hey man, Star Wars
Man,
Day
our
is
time
coming
has
up.
changed.
Yeah, Star Wars Day is coming up. So look, everybody, Chrissy, are you ready? Yeah, we'll have Chrissy come up and deliver our history facts for today. So you can hit the box. You guys can sit right here. We'll talk about it a little bit.
But to chime in on the question that you had asked, I honestly believe that success is relative to the individual. Like whatever you deem as your own personal success, you might think that getting to this level is the pinnacle for you, and then once you get there, you realize that there's so much more to go to. And I feel like everyone's gotten there. I mean, LeBron James is the GOAT. Who could think LeBron James could get better? And then LeBron James got better. You know what I mean?
Hi.
Chrissy, what's up?
Hey, everybody.
Chrissy.
Okay. Hey,
My
love.
favorite
How y'all
country
doing?
tourist. What up?
Period. All right. So here we go. On June 26th, 1844, the Legislative Committee of the territory then known as Oregon Country passed the first series of Black exclusion laws. These laws dictated that free African Americans were prohibited from moving into Oregon Country, and those who violated the ban could be whipped not less than 20 nor more than 39 stripes. That December, that law was amended to substitute forced labor for whipping. It specified that African Americans who stayed within Oregon would be hired at public auction, and that the hirer would be responsible for removing the hiree out of the territory after the prescribed period of forced service was rendered. This law was enforced even though slavery and involuntary servitude were illegal in Oregon Country.
There you go,
is your historian fact for today.
Yeah. All right, Chrissy. Good looking. Thank you. Coco Melon, the face.
I'm like, wait, what? Oh God, that's terrible. They wonder why we act the way we act. I swear. I just be sitting there thinking, I learn something new every day. Like I say, they wonder why we act the way we act. Look how you treat us. Like, wow. Like, we're just objects. Like, we're just not even human at this point.
Even though slavery was over, they still had hiring options. To where it's like, I need some people to work on my field. You know what? You look big and strong. I want you. And then I'll pay you 20 cents, and this is Oregon. Oregon's on the West Coast. So it's supposed to be a free, the West was supposed to be completely free, right? But y'all learned today that it wasn't.
Yeah. Nah, it's free. Yes, it's free, but nothing here was ever made for us. So you know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? It was free for them. Like all y'all come out here, find a plot, make it your home, you know what I'm saying? Do your thing.
Right.
Be great.
Right.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Chrissy, and that's a crazy thing because they don't really, as a community, they don't really talk about that. Where it's like, hey, can I stay at your house and work on your farm? Oh yeah, but you gotta let me hit you 30 times first, and then you could come. Yeah.
No. You gotta go to the auction. There. No, meet me at the auction. I'ma buy you. Then you can stay here. Then you can leave. You know what I'm saying? Then I gotta walk you out.
Right.
And y'all do realize if y'all look in y'all respective states, a lot of these crazy laws are still laws because nobody pays attention to it. A lot of stuff. I'm here in Arkansas. Y'all wouldn't believe some of the laws that are still present. And it's just like, why is nobody trying to get these laws off the books? Because some of them are real wild. You know what I mean? Spitting on the sidewalk. I mean, some I mean some wild stuff, that I
Oh,
read
I've
about.
I've experienced the spitting on the sidewalk one. A couple friends of mine, we were in East Texas. I think we were in East Texas, and my cousin he was smoking and he spit on the sidewalk. And the cop seen it, and I'm thinking, oh, we're black. You know what I'm saying? We're black. They pulled over because they did a U-turn because we black. He hopped out and said, "Boy, did you just?" He said, boy, did you just spit on the sidewalk?"
Oh
He
my
was like,
God.
"What?" Yeah. He pulled out his book and wrote my cousin a $250 ticket for spitting on the sidewalk.
Oh Lord. Mm-mm.
Nah, but that right there is the beginning of Jim Crow. That's literally what Jim Crow laws like are. That's the beginning of it. That's the foundation of Jim Crow laws. And to be honest with you, I think the most appalling part was not the fact that it's the 20 to 39 stripes. Because you know what I'm saying? Like even on my worst day, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Even on my worst day. Like you know
Of
what I'm saying?
course it was.
Like 20 what? You gonna hit Hoover 20 times. Yeah, on my worst day, it can never happen. But you know what I mean? But like to switch it and say, all right, cool. You know what? What's beating them gonna do? We really need people to work. So, you know what I'm saying? We just gonna lock them up and now they work for free. And now we don't gotta worry about the law. And plus now, I mean, the government's gonna pay us.
They gonna find a lot of loopholes. You know what I'm saying? They found loopholes to keep everything going the way they wanted to. They found it, but you got to think like we think differently than the people 70, 80 years ago, 200 years ago. Now if a Caucasian person says something to you, you're going to snap and go off on them. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, you got to figure back in the 40s and 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s, we were scared because what they would do is they would attack our whole family, you know? And we got
But there's
kids and we
cases
got to
of
think about
people,
the kids.
there's
There
cases of
is.
people
And,
going
and they,
off.
they hide, they hide those cases, of course.
There's plenty of cases of people doing them
Every,
bad.
every, every black person wasn't just rolling over and saying, okay, you win for sure. You know,
And you do realize it's still going on.
it is.
I had a cousin that decided that he wanted to marry an unmelanated person, and he got his whole mobile trailer set on fire
Mm.
Cheese and crackers.
in Mississippi. So, if you think that's still not going on, it's still going on. For real.
I think now it's just a little bit more appalling because it also falls into a class system. Because it's not just like being black is enough. Like sometimes like being poor and black is worse than just being black. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They said there's other worse things than being black. I've seen that somewhere. It's other worse things than being black.
Yep.
All right. Back to the subject at hand. And that was our historic fact for today. And we always have one of those on this day, a moment in history relating to the subject, because you got to stay informed. If you don't know, you'll never know. And even though it's the past, it's still relevant to what's going on now.
Heavy.
Okay, Coco Melon. Society loops you in with your family, right? So your family status in the world is your status. Do you feel that way?
For me, I have a small family, so I think it's kind of irrelevant for me because, right now, I came from a different generation altogether. When my mom had me, she was 40. So you can just understand I was in the old school generation, basically. So that generation's pretty much gone. And it's just me and my sister, basically. So with that being said, there's not really no status because it's just me and her for the most part. I think people tend to do that I think with celebrities. They, you see all these people and they think this is what their kids are supposed to be doing, and you see them wilding out and doing all of that, and they loop everybody together like a Kardashian. If it's a Kardashian, you can be the littlest Kardashian, but because that name is so popular, then they loop you back into it, and you may not be nothing that they do. So, I mean, for those types of situations, yeah, they will loop back, but like someone like that doesn't, we stay under the radar, so to speak. I don't see it. I don't see it as much.
I definitely would say the opposite though for me. I mean, originally I'm from a third world country, and if you're from the Caribbean or if you're from, I'd say probably it's almost like to the deep south, where it's like a small community, your last name carry weight. Like, you know what I mean? Your last name definitely carries weight. So depending on who you're associated with, you might not have anything to do with what your family has going on. But because you're connected to that family, we might treat you a little bit differently than another pooput that we, you know what I'm saying? Other pooputs we see doing the same stuff. We might have to handle you a little bit differently. You know what I mean? But on that same accord, I feel like people want that. You want to be able to build your family name up to a status to where like, all right, cool. Well, shoot, if I'm not around, you're gonna treat my daughter well. You're gonna treat my son well because you know they of me. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what you work for.
Nah, that I feel that for sure. I haven't really experienced that too much, but it's like random. It's always older people. Who's your mom? Who's your dad? You know what I'm saying? And I know like a lot of my family in the Midwest and the South, we have like one of those last names that they're attached to, not me, but them that they're attached to, where the police to ask you, what's your last name? And it's like, oh, you so-and-so cousin, or you so-and-so brother, you know, and I always hear stories from my cousins about that. Like they be making up different last names because they know the family name too much out there. And that's, you know, those countries where all it is, I mean, not even countries, but those states where, or in cities where it's real small and there's nothing to do but get in trouble, you know?
And gossip. Get in trouble and gossip.
Yeah. So I've heard stories about that. I've only known it out here on the West for like being attached to my grandfather because he was the pastor. So, you know, it's like, oh, you a GK, huh? Like, okay, yeah, most of us grew up in church. We supposed to know right from wrong. We can't get in trouble because our grandpa's a pastor.
Boys, talk about it. That's the plight of every PK ever living. Every PK around the world.
But do that bring a sense of entitlement because some people have these certain last names? They feel like they can do whatever. Because that's what I see more of, that, okay, because I'm a Smith, you know, or a, you know, whatever, I'm able to do this and this because my mom and my dad, da. So they got this sense of entitlement that they feel like they can do it because these other people came before them and, you know, provided that. So
it's sometimes it's one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's one or the other. Sometimes it's where they take the entitlement side and they be like, yeah, you can't talk to me like that, so I'm in Washington. Or some people, it's the other way where they take pride in it. You like, yeah, nah, I ain't doing that. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna disrespect the name. I ain't gonna go out like that. I'm a Washington. We won't do that. So some people take pride in it. Some people just take entitlement. It's all about mindset, though. Everybody
right. That one thing that they both tend to do is they both run into somebody who doesn't care, or they run into, or you know, a lot of the families, like, you know, we can look at history, and there's a lot of families that they was feuding with each other. You know what I'm saying? They knew them by their last name. They was feuding. You know, like it didn't matter. Like you run into somebody from this family, we don't care. You know, our country was built on stuff like that. Not necessarily with our community, but with the others that live out here. They last names battle more than anything, you know.
Hey,
so
in my neighborhood, there was definitely some families that was fighting against some other families.
All right, Coco Melon. Do you feel society puts age restrictions on things?
Yes.
Not legally, but by the society.
Yes, look at people that want to rap. they are, you know what I mean? They put an age on it. Like they're like, once they get being about 50, oh, you too old to be sitting around there rapping. But they have still a flow. They still have a message. So why can't they? Like, that doesn't make sense to me why there's an age, like there's a certain age that you have to be to do certain stuff. If somebody's still good at whatever they do, it shouldn't matter what their age is. But people do put age restrictions and stuff on everything. If you look at TikTok, you'll be amazed at some of the stuff. Some of these older people, we're talking about 70 and 80, they be getting it way better than some of us youngers.
They didn't have the technology.
Big Daddy Kane is still him. Big Daddy Kane is still him right now, 60-something. He's still him.
Right.
They look at age before they give it a chance. I feel that. The rapper thing really, really made me laugh on the inside because I just seen a person who's up in age that's rapping, and I was like, no, he needs to put the mic down. Yeah.
Even like old DJs, you go to a party and you see like an old DJ, you're like, come on. Granddad, what you doing?
See?
Right, playing younger music. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
like what you doing out here,
DJ's got to
Granddad?
stay. What's he supposed to do? Only DJ oldie parties? Now, that's an
That's what I'm
expectation.
saying.
You
See?
know.
That's the
Yeah.
expectation. You done moved up. You gotta move on up.
Yeah.
Start doing the
Like-
supper clubs, man. Go to the supper club.
Okay. So age restrictions, man. Age restrictions. All right. Here's a quote, right? And we want to hear what you guys think about the quote. We'll go with you first, Joe. Being sensitive enough to support, but strong enough to lead. What does that mean to you?
Sensitive enough to support, but strong enough to lead. I'm sensitive and empathetic enough to see that you're in this situation and want to support you and help you. But I gotta know that sometimes when people are drowning, that if you just latch onto them, you're going down too. So you gotta know, hey, look, you drowning, I'm about to knock you out because I gotta get home to my kids. Like Andre 3000 said, I got kids. At the end of the movie, yeah, I got kids. You ain't taking me down, baby.
Right. Okay, Coco Melon, sensitive enough to support, but strong enough to lead.
Yeah, I feel like, you can see where people are, and if you see they're not where they need to be, sometimes you have to kind of take the reins. But that also means with you taking the reins, don't beat them down and make them feel like they're crap because, they had a shortfall. But to help them, to motivate them, to get them to the leader position as well. So it's kind of like a give and take on that one.
Yeah, great perspective.
Yeah. The topic is social expectations. Okay. So look, we're coming to the end of the show. And every show, we like to ask our guests, send me a dragon. No? Okay. All right. So the end of the show, we like to ask you guys, what would you like to contribute personally to the live or the subject? Oh yeah. You've been on the app too long, Joe. And you black VIP, yeah.
Hey, you see, that's why we take that off, y'all. Y'all be asking why we take that off. That's why we take it off. That right there.
Mm-hmm. Send me a dragon, Joe. You got it. So
That
you
right
guys
there.
have anything to contribute to the topic or anything? It could be anything you want to say to everybody. It's not your outro, but it's just your point of view or your thoughts, your last thoughts, final thoughts.
All right, Coco, you got it first. I got to stew a little bit.
Yes, my thing is be true to yourself. I say that by everything, because if you're not true to yourself, what perspective are you giving to everybody else? So stay true to yourself. Be real with yourself. And then let people love you where you are.
Be true to yourself. Okay. All right, Black VIP Joe, what you got to say?
I would definitely say everyone is unique. So be comfortable in your uniqueness. You're made special for a reason. If you were supposed to be like them, you would have been them. And also, live your life courageously. Live your life like a 30-year-old, unwed, no child having white man. You feel me? Just live your life like
I'm
that.
about to say, I thought you were describing yourself right now, TJ, right man.
Live your life like that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all don't fave Joe, y'all. You gonna shenanigans over there. Shenanigans
It is.
over there.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
Shenanigans. Y'all gonna fave him. Y'all gonna go to his live. It's gonna be shenanigans. All right, y'all. This has been How Times Change. We here every Wednesday. New topic, new moment in time. Make sure you guys fave the guest. Fave the guest. You know what I'm saying? And, remember, time brings you joy and time brings you pain, but time also brings you renewal. And we'll be back again next week.